So it's cold here in Houston today, and we don't like it very much, but it's what we've got to deal with. So anyway, we're going to get this top finished up today, hopefully today, if not by tomorrow. And what I've decided to do, because I always seem to have a problem if I measure from one side, one corner, it always doesn't seem to come out right. So we found the center of this morning, and we're going to do this bottom radius from the center out. Hopefully that keeps everything together. One of the things about a radius, you get the radius right, but if you don't get the location right, it's not correct to everything else. So by doing it from the center, this way and this way, there's a better likelihood that we will get the center of the radius in the correct place and the radius correct. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. You get the right radius, but not in the right location. So that's the game plan. One other area that we're going to have to address is this corner right here. So we're going to do a little cardboard stuff going on there. And then we've got to put all the supports, all the 3D supports in that we made. And I'm going to get with Michael and decide if we're going to attach the bottom. We're going to do a total bottom support. We're going to decide on that. But the goal here today is to get this thing all built out. Need to go over there and see where we're at on the top. Some decisions were made on the top of how we're going to finish that out. So we did some work we didn't really need to do, but at the same time it's kind of good from a standpoint that we're able to learn new things for an upcoming project that we have coming. So sometimes, you know, although we're not going to totally use it on this, we thought we were going to paint a particular part, and then we chose not to. We're going to carpet it, and we're going to use that plastic stuff. But sometimes by doing some other stuff, you learn a good way to do it for the next project. So that's kind of where we're at. Hope everybody had a good, safe New Year's. Hoping for a good day on this today, and we'll get it knocked out. So it's been a little bit of a, I guess, frustrating hour or so, but finally we've got a template that is close. We're going to transfer it to wood now, and hopefully we can get it to come out right. We used our gauge. As I've stated before, part of the problem you have, what's difficult I guess for me to wrap my mind around, is that these lines aren't perfectly straight. The bottom has a curve, but it tends to do a little bit of that. So there's some compromises here. I just don't see any other way around it. I can spend all day doing this, or go ahead and cut one out of wood, and probably going to have to do a little hand massage to get it in the way I'd like it. I need to wrap my head around why I can't get this perfect. And it's a lot better than it was. A lot better than what it was, but it's kind of a little bit of a brain tease, even doing it from the center out, measuring both sides and all the rest of it. It just really kind of messes with your head a little bit, because every time you think you've got it straight. So finally, you know, what I ended up doing was we had the center line, we did cardboard templates at both ends, we took a measurement over here which was 35.5, and we set the sides, and then we put the radius in, and it came out pretty close. We had to trim the top a little bit, which yet again, why? but that's just the way it is. I can sit here, probably spend another hour trying to figure out why that's the case. We're going to go back there and we're going to cut this out of wood. Well, we'll probably go back there and mark it up and then go get some tacos, because it's taco time. No wonder I'm grumpy. Are we rolling? Oh, we're rolling. As you can see, it is in. And I would say we're both very, very happy. So, really kind of glad that is out of the way, to be honest with you. We spent a lot of time on this. Learned a lot, but I think the fit is good. Now we're going to decide if we're going to cut it out of starboard or if we're going to put something on the front of this. We need to start making these decisions pretty quick, because we're getting to the point where it's time to carpet. So I guess we need to have a quick discussion on what we're going to do here. And now we've got this out of the way, we can get started on the rest of finishing the top out and stuff like that. See what we finally achieved here. We finally decided to leave the board in place and put a 1/8 starboard plastic material fascia on it. Obviously we'll be epoxying everything. I think it turned out really well. We had to put this up in the machine and machine it down about 1/8 of an inch and then kind of massage it to make it all work, but it took us so long to get that piece of wood the way we liked it. We just decided this is the best way to go. This is going to be screwed to this, and already makes a tremendous difference, obviously. We only have we have 2 screws holding this in, and they're just little bitty screws just to hold it in place whilst we do all the measurements and stuff. So yeah, I think we should get the top, put the top on, take a look at it, and obviously Michael and I need to kind of regroup where we're at. This is one of those particular projects that you start out thinking, well, we're going to do this, this and this, and it progresses and it gets better, or you hope it gets better, or it kind of develops, and so we come in with an idea that we're going to do this, and then based on what we learn, then we make changes. I don't think you should be scared to make changes. We were going to make it out of starboard, the whole thing out of starboard, but to be honest with you, you know, chances of us cutting the second one of these and having it as perfect as that one went in, you know, I don't know if we can do that twice in a row. Who knows? Maybe we could, but to be honest with you, I'm not in the mood today to find out. So, you know, it's kind of stressful. You know, we want to do Clyde a good job, and so when you're working on somebody else's boat, it really takes it to the next level, because you don't want to make a mistake on his boat. This we can fix, this we can't. So we're being very careful about what we're doing. We would have been the same way on the 633 project. You don't want to get into this stuff. Let's put the inside trim in.
Did we video that?
Probably a good job with all the cursing and swearing. So right now this is just in place because we have to take it all apart to actually bond it in place. So we did this in place. We're about to pull this entire assembly, take it over to the workbench so we can cut the top and the bottom. Over the bloody moon, all right?
Ready?
I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon. We're going to have to recut the top because we have a little faux pas on the corner from the router. That happens, but give us the opportunity to make some more adjustments to it. But I think that thing is just over the top. Let me tell you. It don't get much better than that, guys. It really doesn't. Now, it's just sitting in place. It's not screwed in place. It's not all epoxied. But we were just trying, what we're trying to do right now is tomorrow we're going to two-sided tape this down, screw it back in place with our little screws, do the hinge, make sure we can open and close it, do a little bit of carpet testing in the corners, and I think we're going to be golden now. Really, really happy. Really happy. Michael's worked very hard on this top part, routing it out. It wasn't easy because I just want to glue this down with some 3M. I can't remember what the number is, but there's a particular 3M glue that's made for this stuff. Really, if we didn't video it, oh, sorry, I've got to get up. Sorry about that. What we did was we took this out, we flipped it over, we drew around it, cut it real big, and Michael went around it with the router. We had clamps that we had to move around, and you know, I mean, you guys have seen that before. There's nothing special about that, but that's how we did it. We had a slight faux pas here because this is just two-sided taped on it, lifted up, so we'll have to recut it. We want to make it just slightly bigger anyway. But I think if he isn't happy with that, he ain't going to be happy with anything, okay? I mean, I'm sorry, but...
He just texted me, that's awesome.
See, I like Clyde. Clyde is a great customer because he doesn't be calling here every 5 minutes asking stupid questions like other people. That'll get edited out. I guarantee you that part will get edited out. You know, one of the things that I've got to say about Clyde is you know, we had an agreement with Clyde. We'd call him up and say, hey, look, this is what we got. This is the problem. Take care of it. Finished off this plate. We cut a base piece to go in here, and we have these supports, and then we put this in here. So this is extremely rigid now, extremely rigid. Now there's been some comments about this top, and to assure everybody that this top is going to be just about as tough as you can get, I'm bringing my grandson over to play on this for an entire day. And if he can't break it, it's good to go, I can assure you. We did recut the top. The reason why we recut the top was we were not totally happy with the fitment. We kind of learnt a little bit, so we made some adjustments today, and the top is a lot nicer. We're going to take the top and put it on the bottom, because believe it or not, the bottom is slightly smaller than the top, so we can utilize it underneath. It'll be just fine. We're obviously going to have to cut it because it's smaller, but we can make it work. Next, what we're going to do is put another fascia in here, what they call in the race car business a beauty cover. Doesn't really serve any purpose other than it will cover this up. Obviously we've got to come in and epoxy and laminate and do all the other good stuff that we have to do to this to do our best to get it as watertight as we can. I was hoping to test the hinge today, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're also going to put a little bit of a ledge back here to support the back side. As I said before, the two sides are going to be bolted through underneath this, and we're going to sandwich the fiberglass. And we're going to put a piece of aluminum. I don't know if we can run one continuous strip. We'll have to kind of look. It might not be easy to do that because the inside of this is really like that. So we might have to do individual like strips that wide to help just distribute the weight. But I believe between this front section and having it bolted down here, and this of course is supported on here, I think we're going to be golden. I was extremely happy with the way it turned out. It really finishes this particular piece out. I really enjoyed it overall. It's always really satisfying when you do something like this and complete it, that it turns out good. Now, during the process, I'm going to admit it's frustrating. There's nothing worse than when you spend 3 or 4 hours with all these angles and compound angles and it doesn't come out right. Yesterday, or whatever order it comes out in, we had to make some adjustments. And one of the adjustments we made, I stuck to the 35.5-inch number that we had, even though the wood, the cardboard, whatever you were saying that we shouldn't, and it worked out beautiful. So the carpeting people are coming in to kind of take a look at what we've done, and they start to organize their work, making sure that they have all the materials. The carpet's over there, but we've got to have glues. We have to have the couple of hundred
Gloves.
huh?
Gloves.
Well, gloves, but then the blades for the knife.
Yeah.
I've been pushing Michael to, I believe it needs to show more of this kind of content and how we did it, because I think you guys will get a lot more out of it. You've seen enough wiring. I think if you take the time and look at this and pay attention, I think that if you've done woodworking before and stuff like this, you can do this to your boat. But the other thing I want to bring up, these are not how-to videos. This is how we're doing it. I'm not a carpenter, never have been a carpenter. I'm not a boat builder, but we're just using, you know, God's given common sense to do the best we can and to deliver a good job. So keep that in mind. Okay, on a quick note and a little bit of a serious note, and I don't think we should really have to bring these things up, but you know, I've been asked to address it, and I agree with it. We accept all comments. Nobody's perfect. That's just part of this. You know, if you're going to put yourself out there, you better be ready for the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. There's nothing you're going to say about me or what we're doing that's going to hurt my feelings. We're out here every day, grinding away, doing the best we can with what the good Lord gave us to work with. Everybody has their right to an opinion, and you're entitled to it. And I think that's one of the greatest things about this country. Now, given that, unless you upset YouTube or Facebook, and then they'll ban you, but anyway, but we try to be very open, and we expect you to be open. But please do not drop F-bombs on the comments, okay? There's no reason for it, and it creates us issues and could create you issues. So everybody's more than capable of expressing themselves whichever way they want, but let's remember not to drop F-bombs. We don't want to be hearing from YouTube, and we try to keep this as family friendly as we can. Use involved with the high schools and schools, encouraging young people to get involved in fishing. They're watching this channel, so when they see things like that, we get upset parents and stuff. So you're entitled to your opinion. Please share it with us. Good, bad, I don't care. But let's ease up on the F-bombs, okay? You all have a great day.